as a sidearm back in this time period. So, Doc's locked up somewhere, isn't he? Isn't that what Edna said? I honestly wasn't paying too much attention, because I'm horrible. The police station. Probably in here.
Who are you and what do you want?
Can I talk to, Carl Sagan?
Are you his lawyer?
No.
Then scram.
If somebody asks if you're a lawyer or a god, you always say yes.
I think I'll just talk to Doc from out here.
Really? We have a jail window. How convenient.
Doc.
Art,
Doc,
what are you doing here?
you sent for me, Doc.
I did? When?
May 14th, 1986.
1980? The automatic retrieval system, of course. I'd almost forgotten about that.
So what's our plan for getting you out of here?
Plan? We don't need a plan.
We don't.
Not in the slightest. The police picked me up for that speakeasy fire a couple of weeks ago, but the DA hasn't got a case. They're releasing me tomorrow morning.
So basically, I traveled 50 years into the past to deliver your car?
Sorry about that, but it's so wonderful to see you. We have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, you might want to hold off on that, Doc.
Great Scott! I'm going to be gunned down by gangsters on the steps of the courthouse.
Why would they do that?
Guess they didn't approve of my burning down their speakeasy.
Very funny, Doc. Maybe now we should come up with a plan.
A plan? Right. But what?
Okay, see, I was confused about the whole timeline thing. For a second, I thought the speakeasy hadn't burned down just yet. But I guess it has. And more importantly, where the hell is A, Doc's family, and B, his time-traveling train? Anyways, let's see. Talk to the gangsters. That always works out really well. How about we just go back in time, I pick you up before you get thrown in jail, and then we call this whole thing off.
Why don't I take the DeLorean, go back in time before you were arrested, and stop you from getting caught in the first place?
Exactly.
Don't even think about it. Without my unjust incarceration, the events that sent you into the past might never happen, resulting in a paradox of continuum-shattering proportions.
Jeez, we've been back together for 5 minutes, Doc, and you're already talking about the end of the universe. I've missed that.
Don't be ridiculous, Marty. I was only referring to the end of the universe as we know it.
Yeah, but every time I travel back in time, it's the end of the universe as we know it. Let's go ahead and... You know, I could break you out of jail.
Well, I suppose I could just get some dynamite and break you out of jail.
No, that's far too dangerous. Not just to me, but to random innocent people in the past. The repercussions could be... That's it!
What's it?
My rocket-powered drill.
What?
You have a rocket-powered drill?
Not yet. I haven't built it yet.
You've lost me, Doc.
Listen, a few months ago, my 17-year-old self sent in a patent application for a rocket-powered drill. I abandoned the project after I never heard back from the patent office, but the prototype should be nearly complete.
Great, I'll just run back to your lab and...
No, I said nearly complete. You need me to help you finish it.
How the hell am I supposed to sneak a half-finished rocket-powered drill into your cell?
Not me. 1931 me.
Wait a minute, Doc. You want me to convince your 1931 self to build a rocket-powered drill to break you out of jail?
Precisely.
And what is that going to have? Like, what type of effect is that going to have on the space-time continuum? You never finished that drill. That was probably one of the failures that eventually pushed you into building the flux time capacitor. Yeah, what about the space-time continuum?
Won't talking to yourself cause, irreparable damage to the space-time continuum or something?
It should be fine. I've already invented the idea of the rocket drill. You've just got to goad my younger self into finishing the prototype.
So, where can I find your younger self?
Okay, let's say I go along with this crazy idea. Where can I find you? I mean, the other you.
How should I know? It was over 50 years ago. Why don't you go over to the soup kitchen next door and give my house a call? They'll know where to find me.
Soup kitchen. Got it.
Just stay away from the soup. It'll cause irreparable damage to your digestive system.
God, that's even worse than ruining the time continuum.
I guess I better get started. Don't worry, Doc. I'll get you out of here in no time.
I'm not worried. Once you and my younger self put your heads together, you'll be unstoppable.
What if I just trade you, Doc, and then run around time with your younger self? give him all the knowledge. We'll give younger Doc's notebook, and he can have all of that knowledge at an early age. Doc could become some type of unstoppable time-traveling god guy. I'm sure there's a better way to word that, but whatever. Hello, cue ball. Okay, so do I actually have to use this in my inventory? I probably do.
Brown residence.
Hi. Do you know where I could find Emmett Brown?
Young Master Brown is currently tending to his clerking duties at the courthouse. Who may I say is calling?
It's Harry Callahan.
Doc never told me he worked at the courthouse.
Inscriptions, huh?
Lazy hands make a man poor, but diligent hands bring wealth. Maybe that's my problem. Lazy hands.
Marty, I don't want to hear anything about your hands. Hello, sir. Just keep eating your soup. You can't run indoors, unfortunately. Okay. Now, isn't the courthouse the one with the big clock on it and everything? Isn't that it right there? Let's take a stroll through the park first. I don't know where Obama went to. Einstein? What are you doing out here?
Hey, how you doing, Einie?
I like how we let Einstein just run around in any time frame with no concerns as to the changes he could unleash. The courthouse doors.
Don't touch those. These are very sensitive legal documents. Nobody is supposed to handle them but sworn officers of the court. Judge Brown says so.
Grimmeth.
Judge Brown? Doc. Nice to meet you. I'm, Harry Callahan.
Emmett Brown. But I am a law clerk, not a doctor. Now please get out of my way. I have important business to transact.
See you later, Skiller. So, I hear him mumbling. Wait, Doc. Hang on.
Listen, Emmett, you don't know me, but I'm your friend.
I'm not big on friends. They get in the way of work.
Okay, well, let's see. I hear you're working on a rocket drill.
Listen, I understand you're working on a new
He doesn't like
invention in
small
the lab.
talk.
Invention? You must have me mixed up with somebody else. I'm in law. I have absolutely no interest in science. Timed acceleration.
Liar. I know you're a warlock, Emmett.
Come on, wait up a minute.
You again? Can't you see I'm busy?
Let's see. So, come on, tell me about the rocket drill.
Okay, so you don't want your old man to know. That's fine. Listen, we all keep secrets. But I'm telling you, you can level with me about this science project of yours.
I am not a scientist. Go ahead, ask me what E equals.
What does E equal?
I have absolutely no idea. See? I don't know where you got your information from about me, mister, but you're wrong, wrong, wrong.
Surely we know some information. Did we even mention the rocket drill to him? Like, all we would have to say is, rocket drill.
I better not. Those lawyers sound kind of nasty.
Okay. So let's go back and talk to Doc real quick. Tell him that his younger self is a bit of a jerk. Really tied up in his super important CSI law work.
Psst, Doc.
Marty, have you found my younger self yet?
Yeah, I did meet him.
Well, I met your younger self.
Great.
And I gotta say, you're kind of uptight.
Just a little.
You won't even talk to me.
I find that hard to believe. Tell me what happened.
Let's see. He says he's not a scientist. He mutters a lot, but I'm pretty sure Doc does too. And yeah, you seem really dedicated to the law, Doc.
You know, your younger self seems really dedicated to the law.
It's a facade, I assure you. I had to keep up appearances to appease my father.
And what would happen if you didn't appease your father?
I tried asking him about your rocket drill, but he says he's not a scientist.
What? What? Father.
What's he got to do with this?
In 1931, I was still deathly afraid of my father discovering the truth about my scientific predilections, so I carefully kept them under wraps, practicing science at odd hours, away from his prying eyes.
That sucks.
It sucked a lot. Fortunately, I eventually stood up to him, but right now, my younger self probably thinks you've been sent by my father to check up on me.
You know, speaking of this and the time frame that we're in and everything, I wonder what Doc was doing during World War II. Like, was he a scientist for the Allies? Did he do anything to help the war effort? Was he a draft dodger? What did he do? How can I get younger Doc to trust me?
What do I do to convince Teen Doc that I'm not a spy?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, he mutters a lot.
Why does your younger self mutter all the time?
Muttering? Why will I be muttering? I never mutter unless... the Hill Valley Expo!
Expo?
Yes, the Expo. How could I have forgotten? In a few months, the younger me will put on a demonstration at the Hill Valley Exposition, my first public foray into the world of science. Everyone in town will be there, including a number of noted inventors who shaped my career.
So, it was a big success?
No, it was a miserable failure, but it was a spectacularly miserable failure. One which marked my transition from an amateur garage scientist into a professional seeker of truth.
Okay, so... yeah, just tell me about the expo.
What does this expo have to do with you muttering all the time?
When I was younger, I used to relieve stress by working on complex mathematical conundrums. No doubt my younger self was working on some impossible problem in an attempt to work off cerebral steam in the weeks before the exposition. What was I muttering about?
I don't know, h to the something with an inverse of something else. I'm not so good at equations.
That's too bad. I bet if we could solve my younger self's problem, he'd be more inclined to listen to you.
Well, unless he puts that equation in the form of a song or some type of little poem, I'm not going to be able to remember it, Doc. So...
Let's talk about your younger self's problems later.
Okay, but don't forget we're on a bit of a deadline here.
Deadline, haha. I'm gonna go see if I can overhear the younger Doc's muttering once more. I doubt that it'll actually help anything. But, okay, camera controls, you're gonna have to work with me here.
Will you just give me a chance?
Harassment's a federal crime, Mr. Callahan.
Okay, let's see. I've got something for you to do.
Come on, Doc. Emmett, drop the Legal Eagle Act. I got something more important for you to do.
Mr. Callahan, I'll have you know that the law is the very mortar that holds society together, and we in the legal profession are like brick masons building the edifice of the future.
He can really sell
Did I tell you
that.
Every morning.
Okay, so... don't worry. I'm a scientist too.
See, I'm sort of in the science business myself. That's why I sought you out.
Not that I care in the least, because science is the furthest thing from my own area of interest, which is law, but I don't believe you.
I know you don't.
It's true. I'm a scientist.
So tell me something, Mr. Scientist, from your vast storehouse of scientific knowledge.
The leg bone's connected to the thigh bones?
See? I knew it.
Amazing.
Tell me about your rocket drill.
Come on, you can trust me, Doc. Emmett, it's your future I'm looking out for, in more ways than one.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you and science.
And your rocket drill.
Oh, that word again! If you insinuate I'm a scientist once more, I'll sue you for defamation of character!
And he's got the paperwork to do it. I'm gonna keep following him around and bugging him, though.
Will you just give me a chance?
Harassment's a federal crime.
So, what are you doing?
What's this important business you're up to?
It's a legal matter, very complicated, very abstruse. I need to obtain 5 sets of initials on every copy of this writ of indemnification before before Judge Brown can even think of granting a waiver to the party in the first part.
You have no idea what it's about, do you?
That's how important it is.
So you're a glorified signature seeker. How long are these signatures gonna take you to collect?
So, Emmett, what time are you through with work?
Depends. On weeknights, Pop sometimes keeps me in the office till 9.
9 at night, but today's Saturday.
Right. So I probably won't get off before 10.
Gotta get all the work done before Sunday comes around, because you can't work on Sunday. about quitting early?
How about you knock off work early and I'll buy you a beer or soda? What do you say?
Don't try to tempt me from my duty with sugary beverages. Keeping the wheels of justice turning, that's my one passion in life. Besides, if I left before 8, my pop would kill me.
Okay, well, you sound a little scared of the old man. What's he do, belch you every now and then?
Sounds like you're a little scared of your father.
Scared of my father? Pop is the most learned, just, incorruptible judge that Hill Valley has ever seen. The only people scared of Judge Brown are people with a dark secret to hide. And I don't have a dark secret to hide.
Okay.
Emmett, about
Don't
your...
say it. No harmonic oscillator, then naturally reduced to A multiplied by the inversion of H has to come out less than expectation value of H.
Harmonic
Just give me a
oscillators?
chance.
Harassment's a
I didn't want to talk to him. Bumping into him actually apparently triggers a cutscene for talking to.
Emmett, don't...
Okay, something about harmonic oscillators or resonators. We'll see if we can give that information to Doc. We've got Doc and we've got Emmett. Never confuse the two. Completely different people. Sisters of Mercy. I've heard that name somewhere before.
Doc,
Morty, how goes the escape plan?
That's actually a good idea, Jujo. So, about Edna, I found your
I
notebook.
know this really isn't the right time or place, but I found your notebook.
Ah, so that's where I left it. Why'd you bring it here?
Because the bank's selling off all your stuff.
They can't do that.
That's what I keep trying to tell them.
Well, you hold on to it for safekeeping. We'll deal with my financial situation in 1986 after we save meat from a grisly death in 1931.
You know, you would think that the Browns would have their everything paid off. Maybe it's just back property taxes that they owe. About Kid Tannen. Probably not the best time to be asking a bunch of questions.
I'm still not making any headway with your younger self, Doc.
Really?
Okay.
Let's talk about your younger self's problems later.
Okay, but don't forget we're on a bit of a deadline here.
Jujo, I'm going to use your advice. Use this recorder. It completely slipped my mind. I never thought about it. I probably would have wandered around for another 10-15 minutes before it did. Wait. It's all the way over there already? I guess we'll just have to wait outside the courthouse for him. Einstein, can't you bite him and just slow him down or something? Okay. So hang on, we've got stories so far. Blah blah blah. Befriend Doc's younger self. In and out, in and out. This will definitely work. Wait.
Will you just give me a chance?
God damn it.
Harassment.
Sounds like...
Scared of hide.
Don't care. Gotta get close enough to use it. There we go.
Don't think, Emmett, think. H to
See
the
you
A
later,
multiplied by the
Crisis.
inverse of A, H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A,
Don't mind me.
constant gravitational constant variable.
I don't know if that actually got anything.
Brown Estate. Klondike.
Think, Emmett, think. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A, H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A,
Doc will want to hear this.
I hope Doc likes the sound of his own voice. H to the inverse A. Marty, let's walk in the straight line, shall we? I'll have to go get more tea here in a minute. So we'll use this. Yep, Merry Christmas. Hope it's a good one for you.
So, Doc, does this ring a bell?
Think, Emmett, think. H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A, H to the A multiplied by the inverse of A.
Good grief. Is that me? I sound so...
Young?
I was gonna say intense. I forgot how wound up I used to get.
Yeah, but what are you muttering about?
Oh, that's easy. It's Ivanov's conundrum. Just tell my younger self that H equals the Hamiltonian operator.
Won't giving him the answer mess up the time stream?
Only if it turns out that reality is actually nothing more than a holographic illusion created by the interplay of subatomic particles on a vast two-dimensional membrane.
So...
It'll be fine.
So it's perfectly okay to fuck with the time frame when it comes to you, Doc. But, you know what, I'm not even gonna argue it. Time travel and all that stuff, it doesn't make sense anyways. I still think we should just go back a week earlier and then save Doc before he gets arrested.
Harassment's a federal crime.
Okay, so H equals the Hamiltonian operator.
H equals the Hamiltonian operator.
What did you just say?
I said maybe H equals the...
Hamiltonian operator.
Yeah.
Great Scott! If H is the Hamiltonian, then H to the A multiplied by the inverse of H can only be the same as the expectation value for A. That's it! That's the solution to Ivanov's conundrum, the problem I've been wrestling with in my head all week!
I'm sure you would have figured it out by yourself in a day or two. The way you figured out how to build that rocket-powered drill.
Where did you learn so much about science?
I'm from the planet Vulcan. We're not going to tell him anything about the future. That'll really mess with it. So I read a lot of Jules Verne as a kid.
Well, it's like this.
You know about my rocket-powered drill? Then there can only be one explanation.
What?
You're from the patent office. I confess I didn't quite know what to expect when I sent the paperwork